Okay, so in our last class, we discussed about how we can work with if-else condition in Python. In this class, we are going to understand how we can work with if-elif-else statement. Let's see how we can do this. So the syntactical part is, as we already know, in if-else condition, only one block is going to be executed, either if or else. Same goes with here also. If I'm working with this one, like if I have more than one conditions are there, okay, and I want to execute only one statement, in that case, we can apply here if-elif-else condition. So if I'm using here, if any condition, okay, some statement. Now, if I have only two conditions, either yes or no, in that case, we can apply if-else. But it may be possible that we have multiple conditions are there. So in that case, we can apply here else if, or you can say elif as well. Elif, again, we have the condition, okay, statement. You can use more than one elif conditions here, okay, and at the end you can apply here else. If you want, you can skip else also. Now in this case also, only one block is going to be executed. If this condition, either the answer is true or false every time. So if the answer is true, it will execute whatever inside it and just go outside the block. But if the answer is false, it execute whatever, it will not execute. If the answer is true, it execute whatever inside the if block and it goes outside the block. But if the answer is false, it will not execute whatever inside it but goes to the elif part. Now the next thing is, again it will check the next condition. Else if the condition is true or false. If true, it execute whatever inside and go outside the block. It execute whatever inside it and go outside the block. But if the condition is false, it will check the next block here. Again, if the condition is true, it execute whatever inside and goes outside the block. Otherwise, if it's false, it will not execute anything inside but goes else part, execute whatever inside and go outside the block. This is how it works. In any condition, only one block is going to be executed. Let me show you the practical part here. I'm going to open my ideally first. Let me open the same file. Okay, let's do it for if-elif-else condition. Now, so in this case, suppose if in A I have 4, I have 3 values here, like suppose 2, 6, and 4. And I want to compare every values together. I want to find out, or suppose I have only 2 values here. In A and B, I have like suppose 4 and 7. Or we can take value from user as well. So in A, I'm taking value like this, in input, enter the value for A. Same goes with B also. So I'm just going to copy it from here. And let's just paste it. Okay. Now, I want to compare in A and B, whether A is greater than B, is smaller than B, or equal to B. So here we have 3 conditions are there, whether A is greater than, is smaller than, or equal to. To find it out, I cannot do it by using only if else. Let me show you. So if I'm using here, if the value of A is greater than B, print greater. Okay. Else print is smaller. Okay. Suppose if I'm using this one. So what will happen? Run this code. I'm using at 45 and 23. Now you can see A is greater than B, correct? Now, again, I'm going to run this code. 3 and 7. Now you can see it is smaller. Okay, it is also correct. But if the values are exactly same, then also it is saying is smaller. But here A is not smaller than B. A is equals to B. In this case, it will not generate this output because it either work on yes or no, either true or false. So we need another condition here, which is what will happen when the value of A is exactly equal to B. So in that case, we can apply here if-elif-else block. So I'm using here else if, okay, else if, see, if I'm using here elif, then also it work. Otherwise, you can apply here else if also. It's totally up to you. So I'm using here elif. A is equal to B. In this case, what you want to do? It means these are equals to each other. Okay, now you can see here. So in A, suppose if I have 2, in B, I have 5. So how it works? First of all, in A, we have, it checks the condition. If A is greater than B, no, false. If false, it will not execute this line and go to the next line, which is it checks whether A is equal to B or not. So 2 is equal to 5, false again. If false, it goes to the else block. And directly it prints smaller. Okay, this is how it works. But suppose in A I have 5 and in B I have 4. Then what will happen? In this case, it checks the first value. 5 is greater than 4. True. If true, it executes whatever inside it, which is greater, and just go outside the block. It will not check whether anything is after that or not. Okay. But if these are equal to, exactly equal to each other, so it checks the first value. 2 is greater than 2. False. If false, it just go to the next block. 2 equals to 2. True. If true, it prints equal and go outside the block. This is how it actually works. Now, let's do it in the practical part also. So, we're done. And we already defined that thing. Okay. So, you can do all these things by yourself as well. Now, let me show you. Suppose I'm writing here print by. Okay. Now, you can see here. So in A, I'm using here 3, in B, I'm using here 8. So just after is smaller, it prints by. Run this code once again. 4 and 2. You can see just after greater, it goes to the by. It will not check equals and smaller here. And then if the values are exactly equals, you can see it's equals and by. So in any case, only one block is going to be executed. Okay, I hope this part is clear, everyone, that how if-elif-else block works. Okay, now the next thing is we have nested if concept also. Now we have the concept of nested if. Let's see how it works. So basically nested if is nothing but if inside if is called nested if. So if I'm talking about nested if inside if is called nested if. Okay, so I'm going to give you the example for that one. Basically how it works, suppose if I have a condition if, okay, inside this if condition, suppose again I want to apply a if condition inside that. So you can see if inside this if is called nested if. And how it works, suppose if I'm using it like this, if the condition is true or false, either condition is true or false. So if the condition is true, it executes the next if. But if the condition is false, it will not check whether the condition is true or not. It just go outside the block. Okay, let me show you how it actually works with the example. So let's see. Suppose in x I have 11, any value we can take, or maybe 19, any value you can take. And I'm using here if the value of a is greater than 10, I want to print a is its x. X is greater than 10. Okay, now again I have one if the value of its x actually, if the value of x is greater than 20, now I want to print x is greater than 20. Now, otherwise, else print but not 20. Okay. And then this is how, suppose this is what my query is. Now, let's see how it actually works. So in X, I have 19. Now, what will be output of this code? Let's talk about that. So in X, we have 19. It checks the value. 19 is greater than 10. True. If true, it execute whatever inside it. So, and after that, I want to print anything. I'm printing here done. Okay. Now, so in this case, first of all, it print because the output, because the condition is true, it execute whatever inside it. So first line is X is greater than 10. Next, if X is greater than 20, X means 19 is greater than 20, it's false. If false, it will not execute whatever inside, but just go to the else block. This else is for this particular if. So print but not 20. So X is greater than 10 but not 20. And then it print the next line, which is done. Okay, let's see. Run this code. And you can see the output. X is greater than 10 but not 20 and done. Now, what will happen if I'm writing it like this? Else print X is smaller than 10. Okay, now what will happen? Just pause the video and try to find out the answer of this question. Okay, let's see. So again, the answer will remain same. Why? Because the condition is true here. If true, it execute whatever inside it and it will not go to the else block. Okay, let me show you. See, the answer is exactly same. Now, suppose if I have this condition now. Okay, just pause the video once again and try to find out the answer. Let's see. So 19 is greater than 100. It's false. If false, it will not execute whatever inside it, goes to the else block. X is smaller than 10 and just done. Let's see. Okay. Now, the next thing is, what if I'm writing here 10? Now, again, try to pause the video and find out the answer. Let's see what will be output over here. So the answer will remain same, which is X is smaller than 10 and done. Why? Because again, start from the first line. 19 is greater than 100. False. If false, doesn't matter the internal if is true or not. If the condition is false, if the outer if is false, it will not check the inner if. It just goes to the else block. X is more than 10 and then done. That's it. Let's run this code. Okay. So this is how it works. I hope this part is clear how actually we can work with if-elif-else condition. Thank you.